Okay, 3x to the second power plus 9x equals 0. I need to find the answers for the x, what numbers the x could be. Okay, so due to the second that this brother right here is to the second power, you got an x to the second power, you're going to have two answers, okay? Anytime your x is to the second power, you're going to have two answers, so just remember that. Okay, now the way to get the two answers, when I have x, I got the x here and the x here, but x to the second and x are not like terms, okay? One's to the second power and one is just to the first power, although I'm not going to put the first power just yet. Okay, the way to actually solve this at this point in time when I have two x's that are not like terms is to do the GCF that we were doing last Friday. So I'm going to underline both of these bad boys right here. And I'm going to say, okay, do we have a negative in front? Nope, no negative in front. Do we have x on both these? Yep, we do. So x needs to be in the GCF. And then let's take 3 and 9. Okay, so some of you right away might know that 9 and 3 both divide by 3. So let's prove it. Let's look at 3, the smaller one. What are factors of 3? Well, you divide it by 1, you get 3. 3 doesn't divide by 2, and then I'm just back to 3. So yeah, I can divide 9 by 3 as well, so 3x is the GCF. Now that I know that 3x, we need to unmultiply the GCF. It comes out here, so 3x, and then we're going to put 3x under both of these, and then we're going to divide. Now remember how this works. You divide the big guys, 3 and 3, that's 1, and then you subtract the small guys. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it'd be x to the first. Okay, and then we got 9 and 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And remember, if these are both to the first power and we subtract them, they just go away because that's 0. Okay, now here's how I would solve this. Now I'm going to parenthesize that thing on the outside, and that's going to be factor 1 and f2. Now remember, the way we need to think about that is either f1 could equal 0, so either 3x could equal 0, or 1x to the first, so it's just 1x when it's to the first, plus 3 could equal 0. Okay, so then I can get my answers. I'm going to divide both sides by 3 here, and 0 divided by 3 is 0, so there's my first answer, 0. And we'll box up the x. We'll need to subtract 3. We'll need to subtract 3, so that gives me 1x. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. And negative 3 is just the answer because it's just a 1. So those are your two possible answers for the x. Okay, now the next one, negative 4x to the second plus 20x equals 0. So again, that x that I'm solving for, the variable is to the second power. So that means there are two possible solutions for it instead of 1. And my variable, I have x to the second and x, so those are not like terms, so we need to figure out our GCF, and that's going to be the way to solve that. So do you have a negative in front of the first number? Yeah, you do. So you put a negative. Okay, and you have x on both of your numbers here, 4 and 20. Yeah, they both have x behind it, so we are also going to put x with it. Okay, so 4 and 20. 4 would be the smaller thing, so I'm thinking factors of 4. So I've got 1 and 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so 2 and 2, that's twin factors, so that means I have all the factors. Now, can you divide, is 20 divisible by 4? Yeah, it is. It's 5, so negative 4x is the GCF. So negative 4x, we pull out there. Okay, that's going to be here. And then I'm going to go divide by negative 4x. Now, if you want to do the math here, the x is to the second here, it's to the first here, and it's to the first there. So negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. We divide the big guys, and then we subtract the little guys. 2 minus 1 is 1, so that's going to be x to the first, okay? And then positive 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. You can either write plus negative 5, or you can write minus 5. It really doesn't matter. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So that means the x is there, just cross off. Okay? So now that I've unmultiplied the GCF, I'm going to parenthesize that because this is F1 inside of that parentheses, and this is F2 with that one, okay? So I know that negative 4x could equal 0, or 1x to the first power minus 5 could equal 0, but I'm just going to put 1x minus 5 because it's to the first power, so when I'm solving it, I want to make the first powers into just x's. So I divide by negative 4, and 0 is my first answer. Then I plus 5, and 5 is my second. Okay, that'll be coming up. We'll start working on that again probably on next stand.